What's up, guys? I wanted to make a video. I'm a little late. I ended up just diving into this project. I meant to bring my tripod out here and record, but it's actually really simple, so I can kind of just talk you through it. If you're watching this video, you probably need one of these bad boys. This is the Knock Sensor. This is a 2019 Slingshot. I have about 16,000 miles on it, give or take. Got a check engine code the other day for the Knock Sensor. I believe it's 65551, and then the last digit was 5, which translates to circuit open, or sensor open, which usually means the sensor went bad. The OEM Polaris one is like 30 bucks. I ordered one online. Unfortunately, it's not going to be here this week, and I have a long trip this weekend coming up, so I wanted to get something in there now. So I went to AutoZone and I got a Duralast equivalent. This is the Duralast equivalent that works with mine. Here's the part number. It's SU8212. That is the one I went in there and asked for. I didn't say, like, you know, a Pontiac Solstice or a Chevy Cobalt or whatever. I just went in there, asked for that part number, and that is the sensor they gave me right there. That is the new one. That is the Duralast down there plugged in. This is the factory one. So the reason I did this, obviously, I just said that I have an OEM one coming, but it's not going to be here on time. So that alone should tell you this is not that bad of a job. I've been out here for probably about 15 minutes, and I went in knowing nothing. I wasn't following any guides or anything, so it's super easy. Let me show you how. So this is the brunt of what you're going to be taking off. This is your big plastic intake. This sits in there, and then your throttle body right here is mounted right here. All I've used to do this job is a flathead, a 13 millimeter socket, and a 10 millimeter socket. The 13 is for the Knock Sensor itself, which is way down there. It's this one. I did not disconnect my battery. These are hot. So if you short these out with metal, you will get a spark. You can cause damage. Just let that be known. So if you're not comfortable, I would definitely disconnect your battery. This wire right here snaps into the bottom of the intake manifold right there, that plastic. Kind of annoying, but just kind of like wiggle it and pry at it, it'll come out. Let's see. Oh, I did need a 10 millimeter open end wrench. I used that to get the dipstick tube off. That is right here. This lower hole right by my finger. That is where that bolt goes. I do apologize, the camera work is really shitty. But other than that, everything else just kind of like snaps off. I do have the check engine code, so I did disconnect my ECU. That's not going to reset the light, but I figured it'll reset all the parameters and hopefully it'll register the new sensors working. But the light, from what I've been told and looked up online, does need to be reset by Polaris, like a dealer, for the digital wrench, or with the digital wrench. But yeah, it's really simple to get to, honestly. Like I said, about 15 minutes of work. So on your intake manifold, there's various connectors. Just unplug those. They all just like pinch and pull. Just pinch and pull. There's one here. There's one in your throttle body. Yada yada. There's a, I believe this is the Pcv Valve Tube or whatever. I might be completely wrong, so don't quote me on that. But there's a little knob right here, like a little tab. Push that out, like with the tension on it, and then it comes right off. And then to get this off, I don't really think I needed to remove the throttle body, but it did give me more room. It's literally only 4 bolts. Super simple, 10 millimeters. And then the intake itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 of those are nuts, and then the rest are bolts. And they're fairly long, but they're all the same, so it doesn't matter what order they go in. And basically, just kind of like shimmy it out. It's a little tricky. Like I said, make sure you get those wires off here. And once you get out of the way, once you get that out of the way, you're right there. I did this. Your little elbow that goes from your intake tube, your air intake, to the throttle body. Take that off. That's a little flathead. Might be a 10 millimeter. I'm not really sure, but I just used a flathead. And you're right there. Like I said, it's a really simple job. I do still have a warranty, but if any of you guys have ever taken these things in for warranty work, you know the nightmare that is. I'd probably be without this thing for the next 2 months for this quick, hour-long job if I was taking my time. And new sensor, OEM is 30 bucks. Duralast is like 16 bucks. Can't beat it. Super simple. One thing I did want to mention, make sure this connector is pushed in really tight. You'll hear it click. Another thing I did that a lot of people recommend is put some dielectric grease in there. Squirt a little bit in the connector, plug it in. That's going to keep like water and corrosion and stuff like that from getting in there. Hopefully it just helps keep a good connection too, because there's a lot of vibrations and rattles. It would be fairly easy for this to get corroded, get some crud up there, and become disconnected or have like a bad connection. And as soon as that connection is bad, the engine's just going to assume there's knock. It's going to, retard the timing, and it's not going to run bad, but you're going to be down on power, probably lose a little bit of miles per gallon. And yeah, that's no fun. So like I said, really simple job. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. All right, guys, so it's been like 10-15 minutes. The hardest bolt to get to is this one right here. And if I had a ratcheting 10 millimeter, oh my God, it would be cake. So got the bolts back on there. This hose right here is one of the ones that needs to be disconnected, this connector. But this one just takes forever. This is probably the worst part of the entire thing. And it's simply just because of my lack of quality tools. But yeah, super simple. Also, if you are into electrical, if you're running high amperage stuff and whatnot, this is a perfect time to upgrade your alternator wire. So this blue wire right here is your fusible link. This blue wire is the only one that charges your whole entire electrical system. Well, charges your battery, but this is basically feeding your entire electrical system as you're driving. This little thin wire right here, it's probably like 12 gauge. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But yeah, this sucks. So your starter is that silver thing right under there, and you'll see that blue wire. You can follow it. So I left it there just to keep the factory stuff, but I added a 4 gauge to it with a fuse. You can't really see it right now. It's tucked up under here. Kind of a bad spot, but really simple. But if you're in there, really, it takes 5 extra minutes to add or replace that wire. So definitely recommend doing that if you want. Alright guys, unfortunately I have to dub over this because for some reason my camera decided to delete the rest of my footage. So here's a picture of the finished product. I can't stress it enough, this job is really simple. I wish I could have actually showed you exactly how to do it, how to take it off and reinstall it. But like I said, I didn't have my tripod. There was no way for me to prop the camera up or anything. But it's literally just a couple bolts, couple connections, pop those wire harness things off, those little Christmas tree clips or whatever, and it's honestly really simple. So I am actually making this probably 2 months after replacing the sensor, and I just kept the GM one on. I have not put the Polaris one on there. It did come in the mail probably about a week later. I don't really see a need to switch it because the current one I have is working perfectly fine. You can pick it up at AutoZone for about half the price of the Polaris one and have it the same day, which is really cool. So as for the check engine code, that's what I really wanted to talk about. I called my local dealer. They wanted an hour's worth of labor to read and reset the code for what would literally be a 5-minute job for them. That's absolutely absurd. But my trip that I took within a few days of replacing this was about 700 miles total, and sometime on the way there, which was only about 300 miles,
the light had ended up clearing itself and shutting off. But instantly, when I replaced the sensor, like right here in this clip, that you guys just finished watching that night, it ran smoother. I had, the full power back. My gas mileage went up a little bit, and it wasn't doing the RPM hang anymore. So like when I'd be coming up to a stoplight or something, for instance, and I would shift out of gear into neutral, the RPMs would sit really high until I came to a complete stop. That's one of the symptoms of the bad knock sensor. Also, some people have reported that changing their oil changed their performance. Basically, like, they just went way too long without changing it, and it threw the knock sensor code. I personally don't know exactly how that would work, but people have said that. So I did change my oil as well because I was about due. I change mine usually like early summer every year, but so I changed my oil, fresh tank of gas, and no issues since. And like I said, I've probably put by now at least 2,000 miles on it with no more issues. But I do have the Polaris one sitting in my toolbox just in case. But yeah, hopefully this video helps somebody out. I know it wasn't super helpful video-wise, but hopefully me talking about it kind of gives you the confidence to get it knocked out. Because I promise you, it's way easier than it looks. I was really dreading doing it, and I even thought about not doing it, period. But like I said, I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting 2 months for my dealership to do it, and then probably tell me that it's not bad. They're going to reset it and all that crap. So if this video helped you out, though, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up. That gets the video shared around more and gets some more views, helps some more people out. So thanks for watching, guys.